Ah, where's my 30 seconds?
No, 30 seconds for you.
Prep, right?
Time is money.
What's
yeah,
that?
that's our prep. Yeah. That's our prep time. That's where I find all the stories. I have 30 seconds to find everything for this week.
And it shows. Come
wow. Oh man. But yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. How's it going? Nice. Up, James is here. Yeah, for some Battletech talk. Yeah, so Adepticon's going on right now, so we're getting all the releases, and yeah, there's gonna be more 40k.
That walking citadel thing for Age of Sigmar.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's starting to become colloquially known as dad hammer because it's getting a bunch of boomers. Like, I don't think anybody young is playing Age of Sigmar.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I understand. Like, if something's that expensive, like, who has the disposable income apart from
Yeah.
aged people who are in their retirement? I mean, that's why.
Yep, spending their grandchildren's inheritance.
Yep. What do we got in the will? Oh, shit ton of Age of Sigmar? Come on, Grandpa.
Fucking wood elves. What the hell?
Yeah, really. Well, the way things are going, maybe you'll be able to like recycle them down in the constituent parts and make up some plastic again, because oil's a problem.
Right.
Anyway, hey.
Nice. Yeah, good. But yeah, so we had Gamma a couple weeks ago, and now we've got Adepticon. So yeah, all the news is coming out from these shows, and that's basically the only thing that moves the needle. Like, people aren't talking about stuff unless it's a release. It's a press release at a and GaryCon too. Yeah, we just had GaryCon, so that had a big announcement, which we'll get to. But yeah, it's quite a tabletop-y world. Oh, I've been printing the terrain for Hard War,
and you said looks good.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was kind of turned off. It's all like farm buildings and storage and stuff. It's
agro-colony stuff.
This is a resource battle. Right. Of course, you're going to be destroying food sources, water supplies, and it's in resin. It's thick, chunky, like really nice. It's going to be stuff like once it's painted and you put it on the table, it's just not going to go anywhere. That's nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like,
it's just going to just right.
Okay.
You bump the table, it's like it's not going to move.
Falls over.
But yes, and so the models are looking nice, and I'm really in the terrain. Like, I'm still trying to get the scale in my head of this, because the farm buildings are big, but barns are big. Barns are like can be 3 or 4 story buildings. So yeah, the mechs are not going to be that big. So some of these, you can hide behind, hide a mech behind a barn.
So what I'm hearing is it's like a proper game where you actually have to think about positioning and where your units are and stuff like that, as opposed to like the Adepticus Titanicus, whatever game where you're just like, here it is.
Right.
I'm going to stomp across the table in 2 turns. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Right. Yeah, and a lot of nice little details, little pipelines and energy fences and stuff. Yeah, they did a nice job. I can't wait to see the actual physical stuff, because I got the physical rule book and dice and cards and stuff. So yeah, that should be coming. I think they're still doing final checks, because they sent out the PDF for the book and said maybe April 20th was their deadline. It's going to go to press. So you find any typos or anything, let us know. We can fix it before we send the final file. So that's why they did the PDF early, and it looked good. And I like that the lore. I was like, damn, it's got a lot of
front or back, because I feel very guilty. I still haven't even had a chance to like crack open the
PDF. Yeah, it's got nice artwork and a lot of lore. Like, they really set up the world and like an evolution of how things went to shit and how people decided to attack each other with remote control, weapons and stuff, risking
yes, okay, but enough about actual news.
Oh yes.
I wanted to hear about Hard War.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Oh, yeah. We'll need some oil terrain here pretty soon.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. Maybe
get that pipeline.
Maybe like a strait that someone is blocking. Yeah. Sorry. All right.
Anyway. Why does everyone at these like dystopic games? It's like, I don't want to play that. It feels too close. Like, everything is.
That's why I've said it before. That's why I'm kind of getting more into historics. Like, let's go thousands of years backwards. Where yeah. I didn't see who did it, but there was one kind of like YouTube thing that filtered across my feed. It's like, how soon is too soon? Which I think is like an important question, where just like, my feeling is like, if people are still kind of like first generation healing the wounds of this thing, like, let's not it's maybe not war game that conflict.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a thing. Yeah, definitely with video games, it's like they've gone like right up to the moment and then past it. But yeah, when it's like, yeah, people are still missing limbs and children are still hitting landmines. That might not want to
let's
play those games.
Not play those games, right? Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Yes, fun stuff. But yeah, so getting anything painted going? Anything?
Not really.
What did you think of? I did magnetize one of the turrets on one of your. What do you think of that? Is that
I like magnetizing the turret.
Mhm.
We never got a chance to play that. I had done that for that Tonks game.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Because in Tonks you can only fire the quadrant where your turret is actually pointing and turning the turret as part of the activation for the tank.
Mhm.
It's nice. I think it's also really good when you can swap out the parts, right? Like it's the same chassis, just the turret's a little bit different. Right? But I do like magnetizing that. I'm afraid to drill into that.
Oh, it's not
material.
Yeah, it's not bad.
A little, like I've done it before, but it seems a little bit obviously more fragile than like.
Yeah, it's
like
not good as stiff as hips. Yeah. It can crumble if you hit it the wrong angle.
Crack. Right? But no, I like it. It's kind of an extra thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
I'm not very coherent today. Sorry.
So we'll be getting some hardware out one of these days.
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
I've got a long week, not a long weekend, but I've got a lot of time to myself. Hopefully tomorrow that I'll be able to like prime.
Oh, nice.
Like at least base and prime stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I've got the Martian Force and the Syndicate Force all ready to go.
Cool.
So yeah, we've at least got the base units for that, and can kind of make some kind of list. So.
Cool.
Yay. All right. So let's get started for this week. Well, we've all still got the time. The chat's jumping. Yeah, Armageddon. Nice. Yeah, there we go. That's the big focus. I think that's the name of the box for 11th edition. Armageddon.
Didn't they?
Armageddon out of here.
Didn't they already have an Armageddon?
They've done it. They keep going back to it. Yeah, it's had a few supplements in different.
We're going back to the whatever, the Armageddon sector.
It's like second. Yeah, I think the second edition setting. Yeah. But I'm sure it's updated because it's all Primaris. Anyhow, we'll talk about that. All right, so let's get started for this week. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly...
What do you got?
Gygax returns to D&D. They're going to fix it.
Pass.
New Battletech rules. Actual rules in books and sets.
Okay.
Warhammer 40k gets their 11th edition. They're slacking. They should be up to at least 17 by now. Okay. And Trench Crusade gets a box set that they announced 2 days before 11th edition was announced. Like people would not even notice it if that happened after. Okay. But let's get started. So
Gary Gygax.
Yes, thanks to Matt, we've got a little bumper here.
I've said it before, I would still play whatever little tabletop game that is. Right?
That's right. So not the best. It used to be for things that were not D&D, but it's slowly through WotC's mistakes become our bumper for talking about Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons. So what are we getting? So Luke, that boy is our last hope. Basically,
I'm embarrassed at how long it took me to get that joke.
We have some news because with the passing of Ernie, Luke Gygax is the heir apparent, I guess, and we got an announcement at GaryCon appropriately. Wizards has announced that Luke Gygax will be coming back to work with them, and they'll be working on Greyhawk, so the original setting, a Gygax setting. And Dan Ayoub, the head of the franchise for D&D now, I guess I call him head of franchise. It's not like, I don't know, CEO or president or whatever. I forget. I think the other guy had a different name, but he's been quoted as saying, "We're the two that can fix this."
He literally said that
at GaryCon. And so I think GaryCon, there's no theater kids, there's no furries, so you can talk a little more open.
Women either.
You can talk a little more openly in a grognard sort of tone.
Jeez, right.
But so wait. Well, what? So you're at the head of something now that's been going wrong? Well, this meeting, these two were brought together. It was engineered, they're saying, by Joe Manganiello, the celebrity, the actor that so famously has been doing a lot of is a big D&D nerd and doing a lot of actual plays. So Ayoub said he's recognizing that the game lost its way at some point. He's not going to point any fingers. He's not going to give any dates.
You goddamn woke crowd! You ruined my D&D, right? Anyway, sorry.
But he's trying to put it on the right path. I think they just wanted to do everything for everyone.
I mean, yeah, okay, sorry. Finish.
Okay,
Yep.
So at the meeting, Luke is coming back into the franchise. You've announced, and talked about they're going to. Luke has spent most of his life in the world of Greyhawk, created by his father, and what they're going to do is a book called Melf's Guide to Greyhawk.
Sorry, what?
Melf, his original character.
No, I knew that. It was just really close to something else that you probably don't want in D&D, right?
That guide? No, not that guide. It's a different guide. So his Melf was his original character that he played in his father's campaign, and you're gonna get Melf's Guide to Greyhawk. So yeah, we've had Arneson's Blackmoor, Tom Mulvade's Known World or Mystera, and then Gygax's Greyhawk.
As official D&D products through WotC.
Yes.
Okay, because I was just clarifying because I hadn't really been keeping up. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm just talking about the history. The history of those settings.
Okay.
And we'll go into. There's much more than that, but those are kind of the earliest settings that people play. But Greyhawk is kind of like dropped off. And there's a huge fan base and people that want to play everything appropriately in that world for their campaigns, but it's kind of dropped off as far as official products. There hasn't been Greyhawk. I think they did a little blurb in the new Dungeon Master's Guide, the revision, but that was it.
Well,
yeah. So surprisingly silent with the Greyhawk.
I'm going to rage a bunch of D&D nerds here. What exactly sets Greyhawk apart?
I think it's more like European, like it's more no, I guess that's not true because Mystara is as well. It's got its own lore and kingdoms and everything. Well, I don't play in Greyhawk. I don't know.
Okay, but my point is, it's pretty fucking boring.
I'm not saying it's household names, but it is a very established setting. Yeah,
it is, and I don't know. Okay, maybe I would have to go look. I'm sure there is something that kind of sets Greyhawk apart. But I mean, you had Forgotten Realms, which is basically kitchen sink, right? I couldn't tell you what was distinct about like Blackmoor or Mystera. But I mean, like, isn't Greyhawk just another kind of bog standard fantasy Europe stuff?
They're all kind of, but
right?
like takes on, and I think most like 1-to-1, even though like geographically it's different. Mystara was just like, oh, here, this is
North America,
fantasy, Middle East. This is fantasy.
But like my point is, like, compared to Spelljammer, which they did dirty, Dark Sun, and Planescape. Like, I'm sure there is something, but I cannot tell you. I can't really summarize Greyhawk into what it is, right? Like, all the other ones are distinct because they were kind of big departures from the standard European, kind of European. And I'm not saying you have to kind of like differentiate yourself by doing something completely wacky, but I couldn't tell you what Greyhawk has going for it.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just a setting that I think was contributed to, by the specific creator. Like they world built, and so if you were there at the time, like as the products were being released or whatever, it. Like I'm sure to a lot of people, like Greyhawk has its own flavor that the other settings,
I'm sure. What is that flavor? Because the guy's like, here's your scoop of vanilla. Here's your other scoop of vanilla. Here's your third scoop of vanilla. Right? Sorry, I'm being a bit hyperbolic here, but anyway. Yeah.
Yes. So, and Ayoub also said something strange because we've heard this digital first thing from Wizards of the Coast and D&D Beyond, and he's saying that retailers remain the heart and soul of the product, and that face-to-face physical play is always going to be part of D&D. So I guess he's just putting out fires. They just sent him to GaryCon to be like, just like, don't worry, it's not going to be all PDFs and logins, you boomers. But so we'll see. And so what's happening? They're talking about this big restructuring. So why has Wizards of the Coast been so silent for the first 2 months of 2026? No releases, nothing. They've just been totally restructuring how they're doing things. We don't know what exactly that means, but that was his excuse. So this is Melf of Melf's Acid Arrow. So you have heard of that from the 70s. So they were talking about so when they were first brought together, ask, what are we going to do? And say, yes, let's do this. Is there a chance? Yes, 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 there is a chance. Let's do this. So Greyhawk, hasn't been supported officially for a long time. Still has a huge community and so original contributors that people like. So there's a big question mark, and this may answer that, about what Season of Champions is. Remember, they said they've got their little seasons, and spring for some reason is the horrific season where Ravenloft is coming back, and the Season of Magic we're going to get Arcana Unleashed. So Season of Champions may very well be for Melf and his Greyhawk adventures. We will see.
Okay.
And Ayoub also reached actually said this, which is quite interesting. He mentioned the past disagreements between the Gygax family and WotC, and says we have to mend whatever rift happened between the family and the franchise.
Do you?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just ex-wives wanting money, but anyhow, or not, widows. I'm sorry, widows, not ex-wives, widows. But yes, so they will use Gen Con for the launching point of future products. And he's also mentioned that they're getting really positive feedback on this seasons idea. It must be from Zoomers, because who the hell wants seasons and passes? Like
shareholders?
Yeah, right. So that's who. The shareholders were so ecstatic about this. So I don't know if people actually are. But the other thing that they mentioned, aside from this new collaboration with Luke, is modules are returning. So they're going to do a new season, season modules, and they didn't say how those are going to come out. If those are going to be digital only, if they're actually going to do floppy, books with maps in the back, that'd be great. But so that would be nice to see, because I'm tired of these hardback collections of, you can play a bunch of wacky adventure. It's just
that's always what it is.
They get a bunch of people, but no, I just like it when just separate those out, because I don't want to buy the one where you're stuck in the magical library square dancing. It's just okay, well, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Strixhaven, right? Anyway, no, okay. Point taken. It does seem like they had put out, well, I mean, I don't know. From a business perspective, if you got a crap ton of whales in your customer base, it does make sense to produce these more expensive things that you can charge a lot of money for. I kind of wonder why they weren't doing both.
Yeah,
maybe just staffing. I don't know.
And probably the death of the bookstore didn't
probably
help. Yeah.
But if you, I tend to think that adventure and adventure modules, or whatever you want to call them, are probably the best selling thing of RPGs.
Right.
Tabletop RPGs. Because while anyone can sit down and make an adventure and run a game, it takes time. It takes effort. And not everybody wants to do it. Not everyone has the resource to do it. So producing something that's cool, all you got to do is run through this and play, right? It seems to make sense. I mean, especially for games that are, I think, more prep structured, like D&D, where it's here's your encounter, and instead of having to figure out, okay, how you're going to balance all this stuff in this, no, here it is. It's this in this room, right? So it makes sense for them to bring back modules.
Yeah,
I'll be curious, not that curious, to see what format they because I think
it might just be digital.
It might be digital, who knows? But I think a nice, maybe gone are the days of those little black books they can flip through and hear the maps and the keys. I don't know.
So that would be nice if they did something physical, or at least they could through drive-through do a decent print on demand version or whatever. And modules are fun because you buy stuff that you may never play. It's good inspiration for if I wanted to do a survival hex crawl through the desert, that's what they focus this around, but how did they do that? So that kind of stuff is fun. And as far as settings, so we were just talking about settings. This one of the players asked me during the old school essentials, it's so what's older, Greyhawk or Mistar? I'm oh shit, I don't know, because I am so focused early 80s. I was not aware of D&D when I was 4 years old. So but here's a chronology just to set everything straight here. So 1975 is Blackmore. They also date Greyhawk to 1975 as well. the official setting of AD&D. And of course, Blackmoor was the one you needed to play original D&D with chainmail and all that good stuff. Mystara is 81, so it was first just called the Known World, and it was like kind of the default setting of early BX modules. And then we got Dragonlance in 84. Forgotten Realms, Ed Greenwood's Forgotten Realms is not until 87. Spelljammer 89, Ravenloft 90, Dark Sun 91, Planescape 94, Birthright 95, and then that was the end of that. They figured we're losing a lot of money here because we can't keep jumping people around all these settings unless we do a multiverse.
Respect to Birthright for not doing fantasy races. Birthright was the humans only. Which possibly opens up a can of worms when they go, oh, you're this race? This is your stats. And you're just like, oh, right? So, yeah.
Those Southern folks are a little different. And also, sorry, modern era, though. So post 2000, so kind of, new WotC 5th edition. Not 5th edition, but yeah, newer. Eberron, 2004. Nentir Vale, 2008. Ravnica. That's the magic.
Once you hit the magic crossovers, it doesn't count.
And what about Exandria, the Critical Role setting in 2020?
Hate to say it, but that counts.
Oh no! That's not a default Daggerheart setting now. But yeah,
probably.
So Luke is returning some collaboration, and just kind of an olive branch. They're going to try to reach out to because it does. All their recent news does seem to really alienate older players on original stuff. We're moving digital only. We don't care about you. We want new customers. So, at GaryCon, of course, that would be the time to talk about. Yeah, we're gonna.
So all those people attending GaryCon adjusted their oxygen mask, and stood up, waved their canes, is what you're saying.
Yes, right.
Okay, we've talked before about how TTRPGs are kind of like this weird product where essentially consumers only need to buy one thing, the rules, and then they can play it for as long as they want, and they're still like a customer. I would be curious what the age demographic looks like for current customers who continue to spend money. I would be open to being surprised, but I mean, like what you said about older kind of Grognardy-esque people who would know the Gygax name and kind of care about the Gygax name are possibly getting left behind. I'm like, I want to know if that is. I would be interested in knowing if that was the case. I don't know, because
I think they've got some stats, but it's the only way they can get stats is digitally. Like when you register your D&D Beyond account, so they're going to be a little skewed towards internet.
Grognards are still like writing letters,
right? And I think they're probably just trading old, yellowed, rusted, stapled, books. They're not going to.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Right? Yeah,
they're not going to buy.
Here's this autographed copy from '89 that we're still going to play, right? Yeah.
Right. All right. So that was what we heard from GaryCon, and Adepticon is currently going on, and we got a surprising announcement from Catalyst. So Battletech is getting a new core product lineup, and for kind of interesting reasons, and with rules changes, which is something that maybe some long-term players are like, oh shit, because this is Catalyst.
Well,
this is
you don't have to stop playing the rules you like.
Yes, right. So we're getting a new core book, a new starter box, and a new core box. This will all supposedly launch at Gen Con later this summer, but the announcement was done at Adepticon. And this is all due to several months of play testing from late 2025 to early 2026, where they made a few rules changes. So there were playtest packets that were out, and a couple of these, I think Goonhammer and Wargamer.com and a lot of the people were in on this, and so they were kind of reporting what was looking, how things were looking, and did say, Catalyst is kind of walking a tightrope. They're trying to keep Battletech fundamentally the same record sheets, maps, and so on, because they've had that for the last 4 decades, but they're kind of going to try to make small adjustments, and also small adjustments to their product offerings. And so here's what they're doing. So starting with the starter box, which is the smallest of the release, it's replacing the beginner box. So they're taking out some of the older mechs. So the Griffin and Vindicator will be gone, firmly moving everything into the ilClan era. So the Hammerhead and the Kontio are the going to be I guess you only get 2 in the beginner box with a bunch of cardboard stand-ups. So, but the players, so this is sparing the players from what they're calling intro tech to learn. So, kind of making it absolutely basic, kind of stripping things down, taking the complexity out to get people to start. So right away, you're going to be learning about pulse lasers and double heat sinks and all that stuff, because they figured out people that are coming from D&D or Warhammer, they can handle the complexity. So when you dumb it down too much, their first taste of the game is, I don't like this. It's kind of boring. It's not very, there's not a lot of strategy. There's not a lot of complexity.
Okay.
That's about it. That's not what I'm interested in. So they're trying to make the starter box a better example of what real play is and kind of let people see where it's going.
Okay.
So I thought that was a really interesting approach. The core box will be replacing a game of armored combat and clan invasion boxes, and it's going to have considerably more models in there. Again, firmly in the ilClan era. So it's a mixture of inner sphere and clan tech. So they're the kind of light. The models that are included, Solitaire and Hollander are the lights, Eris and Uziel are the mediums, Rakshasa and the Vulture M Mark IV are the heavies, and a Regent and Madcap Mark II are the assaults. So rather than being all classic kind of 3025 era mechs, they're pulling them from a bunch of different sources, as well as games that have become popular. So Battletech games like MechWarrior 4, MechWarrior Dark Age and stuff, got people interested in them. So now these are going to be miniatures included in this base set. So yes, so they're going to be making a few changes, like you don't need to spend so many turns missing and doing minimal damage.
Okay.
You can get lucky with through armor crits and headshots, taking damage, getting crits, or getting killed at much higher rates. So a lot more, feeling a lot more dangerous, a bit more exciting. There's also going to be a Saga lore booklet included in this core box to kind of get the setting up to where it is. And I think that's a strength of Battletech, if you're coming from 40k or whatever, to have something that has a history, and this is the point in history where you're playing. So the default setting for these boxes is moved up, from where it originally was. And they're saying that should make it easier, because you kind of have to I really want to play with these mechs, but we're not there yet in the timeline, so they don't exist. And so this will make everything much more available, as well as scavenging old tech.
It's not a historical.
Well, people get serious about their timelines. Yes, so the unequal initiative is switched to being front loaded, so kind of a common house rule that people were doing. Roads reduce the change cost levels to 1 MP. Partial cover is no longer negated by elevation. The charge damage is now based on TMM, the movement stat, rather than hexes moved. So these are things that hadn't been touched for a long time. But I think from playtesting and stuff and asking players, they're like, oh, so this is a house rule you've used for a decade. Maybe we'll take a look at it. Or this is a rule that
constantly gets forgotten or misinterpreted, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So ammo explosions now only do 1 pilot hit. Consciousness checks only happen once per phase. There are new light and heavy plasma rifles. There'll be escalating failure, which is matches the change in consciousness checks. Semi-guided missiles don't ignore as many modifiers. There is no longer so an MACS no longer is a automatic critical.
Okay.
And so these are the big changes for if you know the rules.
I'm sure if you know the rules, you're either cheering wildly or frothing at the mouth, writing Catalyst an angry email right now.
Tearing them down. Yes,
or possibly both.
Not so. Hashtag not my Battletech. Anyhow, the future. So yes, they're so moving the entry point for the setting away from the Secession Wars to a more interesting place, immediately engaging with the newer content that people may know from the video games and things. So yeah, a lot of the people have said the ilClan is the best kind of gameplay for the setting. So that's maybe what the decision was made. But unfortunately, with the end of these beginner boxes, there will be no way to get some of this older plastic. So the Commando, the Vindicator, the Wolverine, and Battlemaster are going to be harder to get because they were only available in this set. Okay. So, but they can easily change that with reprinting them and doing another kind of doing some more supply box kind of
stuff. Release some STLs or something.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so big news out of Adepticon. So a rule set that they haven't touched much in a long time is getting some tweaks.
Oh, there we go.
All right. And speaking of tweaking rules for no good reason, I think, well, maybe Catalyst had a good reason. Warhammer 40k 11th edition. So they're on a 3-year cycle now. I think they should just do an iPhone 2-year cycle. They're cowards for not doing that. Every year there should be a new edition of something. Yes, so kind of alternating. So you get 1 year where there's not a new major revision, edition change of one of their major games. But actually now with Old World Fantasy, maybe that's not even true anymore. Maybe every year there's going to be Old World, Age of
Old
Sigmar.
World, Age of Sigmar,
and then
40k.
Yeah. And it gets new editions, but they're like more like every 5 years or whatever. But the Middle Earth stuff, however the license
Whatever
changes,
scraps are left over from.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, now it's Hobbit. Now it's the Hunt for Gollum. Now it's anime. They did all the characters from that anime. But anyhow, Adepticon gave us the big announcement. Shockingly enough, everyone saw this coming, but 11th edition is coming in June. So throw away all those 10th edition books. They're useless now. No, actually, they're trying to not make that the case. So this edition is here to bridge the gap between narrative and matched play.
Oh, God.
So competitive play is their bread and butter. What the fuck are you even wasting your time doing this for? Okay. People get online and they say, give me the list. I want the list for the army for this faction. I want to win. That's all this is about anymore.
I was thinking, like, I don't remember the last version of 40k, but I was thinking, like, if they want to do this, why don't they do almost 2 versions of the rule sets? Well, I mean, obviously, it would take more time. It's kind of like, here's the competitive play, and the list will change every year or every 6 months, whatever. Yeah, cool. Right. Yep. You whales, you spend all your money updating your models that you're not going to paint anyway, right?
Right.
Then here's your narrative, whatever that means in 40k.
Right. Well, they were kind of doing that. I forget what they called them, but they would do kind of a narrative thing that would have certain detachments and things and new models that would be playable. And it wasn't for competitive. A lot of this stuff was just released to be part of a kind of a moving story that was, doing something somewhere in the known universe. But yes, so the lore focus is going to be Armageddon. So orcs will be the main antagonist for the Imperium. Steel Legion returns because people were freaking out. They're like, what happened to Steel Legion? What happened to Steel Legion? Well, they're sculpting them right now. So Steel Legion is back in plastic. Astra Militarum and Adeptus Sororitas are also involved. So their launch box is just called Armageddon. And the artwork is a huge nod to the 2nd edition box cover because it's just a blood angel and orcs. But what they're promising to bridge the gap between the editions is all current 10th edition codexes. They kind of have to do this, and they do this every time. All current 10th edition codexes will be usable with this new edition, including the current and upcoming books, because they still have a bunch of stuff that's before June is coming out. So get
who
people
got left behind this time?
Anyway. Yeah, there's definitely people that are just like barely going to make it in with some kind of book. So maybe the rules changes aren't going to mean that you have to have those indices that are changing the stat lines and everything. So the old stat lines will work well enough until they can balance everything with a new codex in the 11th edition. But yeah, they've done this before, so it's not like not amazing.
But they've done this before implies like once.
Yeah,
isn't this the like standard operating procedure?
They've done this. That this is what they often have to do because it just like the books freeze. They just have to take as soon as this gets announced. They literally need to just take everything off the shelves, all books, and just shred them because it's like we're done. So they're okay. No, keep the books. We're still good. And they're using an app now too for unlocking stuff, so they can digitally just do stuff. They could kindly just give everybody the new rules on the app.
I don't think they would ever do it because Games Workshop shareholders want to make money, but just like am I incorrect in thinking that they released the 10th edition rules for free? Or at least a version of them.
I think,
but just like
there may have been, but they were a mess. Yeah.
That doesn't narrow it down for the edition, right? Just like release the rules for free, or release,
and then that the codices,
like don't even print them. Right? And I'm sure they would charge for the app to whatever access thing. You'd be renting use of them.
Yeah, they got to sell the collector's box though.
Well, that's the thing though. They got to sell the collector's. But if everything was online. Then like these little minor tweaks and balance things, right, kind of wouldn't wouldn't matter, but they could do them a lot easier, right? It'd be like, hey, monthly update, right? These things.
Yeah, well, that's
change,
what a lot of third-party people do. Like they get their hands on the books as soon as they can, or they have inside people like, you know, sending them photos of stuff, and then they update it in like Battlescribe or whatever. I don't know if Battlescribe is still a thing, but people upload. You know, there's fan sites that are getting these rules and actually doing what Games Workshop should be doing for the hobby. But
Games Workshop never. Okay, they're a giant lumbering behemoth corporate entity, and they're not agile enough to do that kind of thing. And whenever they buy out someone who is, they all over whatever that app was, right?
Yes. So the big thing is detachments are going to work slightly differently. They're going to have a bunch of them. There'll be 70 new detachments, so you can kind of mix and match anything you want. You want your bikers and your Terminators together, you got them. And modular detachments are going to be kind of things, thematic things that are built kind of around one main model. That have like a model that you're building a detachment around.
That you probably have to pay like $100.
Yeah. So yeah, it's only $50 for for 10 cents worth of plastic. But yeah, so to make more thematic armies, the big change is how objectives will work. Say goodbye to fighting over circles. So in all of the collector's editions, they always give you like 6 coins for your objectives with the big Roman numerals on them and a skull on the other side. And we're done with that. So things are going to look and feel more narrative like. Objective circles are going away. You're going to be fighting over terrain. So you're going to name terrain pieces as certain objectives. So charging the ramparts to dislodge enemies from the terrain are going to be objectives. So that'll bring an end to L-shaped walls because you're going to need to have things that you can actually take over and be occupying. So maybe scatter terrain is going to take a hit. But yeah, they're trying to make that more of and I think a lot of people played that way, even if they're kind of just playing with competitive lists. They do kind of want to make a story. Okay, we're for some reason we're using this jungle mat and we've got these buildings, so where are we and what is this? People kind of make up a story from like what's on the table for the match, and that's what they're leaning into. That's what they're trying to do, because I've seen like blogs and stuff where people will like do their battle reports, and it's like they try to make whatever that milk carton or whatever is supposed to be give you a little bit more.
So I was laughing. I too have made. Hey, there's no better terrain than an empty soup can with some sprue pipe.
Right. Yes.
There's your tank. Right? Yeah. Sorry. I think you're overestimating. I think those. I don't know. I would be curious whether the people who are serious competitive players do that, or if it's just.
It's just they could be playing with tokens on a hex map. No, that's true. I don't think so. I think but they're trying to introduce that because that's the thing that gets you addicted to the game. It's not because you can kind of you fall in and out of love with a rule set, or going to tournaments with certain stuff. You can kind of like Magic. You can kind of get hot and cold with it. Magic the Gathering. But I think, if you're involved in the narrative, you've painted an army a certain way, these are your guys, and this is their thing, and this is what they're always doing.
And then the next release comes out, and you're like, oh, damn, my guys are shit.
They go in the box. Go back in the box. Yeah. So but they don't care about that. But that's I think they know that that's the addiction to it, is like really investing yourself into it and some creativity, just like with role play. The creative part of it keeps you, kind of playing at games and sticking to systems because you've created characters, and this campaign is big and enjoyable.
Valid point. Yeah.
But so they're going to change things like multiple stratagems won't stack the way they did before. Hidden will work differently. Terrain and cover, they're going to have untargetable. Oh yeah, so that you can't just shoot somebody off of the board. Basically, anything that's in terrain or in cover is untargetable outside of 15 inches. So you're not going to have these like gun lines, just like killing.
If your table was set up better, and if you had fewer models that were just line them all up and blast each other, that wouldn't have happened.
Yes. Oh, and this is something I'm curious about your opinion. They're going to kind of standardize fast dice rolling as the primary way to roll everything. That means you're just rolling everything at once, and that doesn't work all the time.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you got to color code your dice, and because I was really surprised, even with the fire team
Blackout,
the smaller skirmish.
Oh, Kill Team.
Yeah, Kill Team. Yeah. With Kill Team, that you even get into that as well. It's like, no, you got to roll these in order, because things, depending on the result of every single shot, things are going to happen.
No, that was meant to hit that, and that was when I really
So they're good, but they're going to try to. So that might have to be in the rules too, where they're just like, yeah, just roll it. It's a little different, but just roll it all. And so that's going to be the primary way, especially for charges and first strike. So yeah, piling and consolidation happens at the same time. Charges got reworked. You're going to roll your dice first, and then you can kind of pick where you're charging. You can say, oh shit, I got a 4. Okay, them. Yay!
Okay.
Combat disembarking is back. So vehicles are less of a death trap, and you can actually get out of them instead of just exploding with them. Leaders no longer lose leadership abilities, but it looks like we're getting all Primaris Blood Angels. So yeah. Oh, and but the other thing I was surprised by, this is a very unbusiness-like move.
Right.
Orc boys no longer have to choose between Shuda and Choppa. They can do both. They can carry both at the same time. So what do you do with all those arms that
you make one arm a shooter and you make the other arm
but then you got 2
chopper.
arms holding nothing that are just in the box still. Those are your bits. You can lay those around the battlefield for severed orc arms. And there will be, looks like 1 squig in the box, in case you were wondering. Just one. Yeah, so they're going to do their typical cinematic trailer and the launch box, the Armageddon launch box. So yeah, just more balancing. It's just like the iPhone 16 or 15 or 14. It's like the camera's a little better. You don't have to do this now, and now you open it doing this instead of this, and it's all they keep doing. But people keep coming back for it. Yes, so they revealed a couple of the models from the set, not everything. An intercessor and an orc boy, and the orcs are just getting bigger and bigger. And isn't that a thing in orcs? Like the bigger you get, like
at least there's a reason.
Just getting bigger.
At least like the more you fight,
right,
the longer you survive, the bigger you get.
Right.
And it's like
how does that do? Primaris do that too? Then
well, that's what I was just gonna say. Like there's okay. I suppose they
the more
engineering them again, right? There was an in story.
There was, but it was it was a secret that they kept secret for the longest time. So yeah, so we're getting more 40k. Surprise. I thought it was going to be the end. I thought they were going to say, okay, we've done enough. This is the perfect version. We'll never have to move past this rule set like 5th edition D&D.
And we're done with this. We're killing the 40k world.
Yeah, right. The 40k world. The end of times.
Age of the Emperor. There's a new version. We put them on square bases.
Yes, we're going to square bases now. D20s. All right, but not to be outdone, a few days before this big announcement at Adepticon, the fine folks at Trench Crusade dropped a quick announcement, a surprise announcement of a 2-player starter set with plastic minis, so you can enjoy the Carcass Front. So Trench Crusade Carcass Front starter set. And yes, so their death metal flavor biblical horror war game, I like that description of it, will come with a complete, completely playable, out of the box 2 war bands. So 2 complete war bands, brand new plastic, so it's not out in any way. 2 narrative campaigns, maps, cards, and player aids. All this can be yours for $129.99 US. So yeah, probably about the price of one of those starter armies. A lot less plastic, but a lot more rules. So this is due out in late July. So after 11th edition has already taken everyone's money, people are going to set a little bit aside for Trench Crusade. So pretty reasonably priced for an everything in starter box. The 2 factions that you're getting are the Heretic Naval Raiders and the Procession of the Sacred Affliction. So yes, the Raiders are deep sea diver coded denizens of the Heretic Legion, well suited for players that like to leverage small model counts using enhanced mobility and infiltration. And the Zealots, the Procession, are the Zealot cult from the Trench Pilgrims. So yeah, you just want to be very religious. They're perfect for players who want to take the fight directly to the heretics with blades and holy fire in large numbers. So yeah, so fire wielders versus the water dudes. Okay. All right. So yeah, the campaign included inside is called The Path of the Leviathan, and it'll have 2 kind of separate a 2-player narrative, culminating in a fight around a titular sea monster. So the map base campaign is for 2 to 8 players, and we'll see warbands battle over resources and esoteric secrets of the Carcass Front. So they haven't shown, they just showed a few, I guess there were a few previews of the models, and the the sea themed guys were looking a little Chaos Space Marine-y. Yeah, I was surprised that they maybe the way they were painted. I think they
Right,
painted
okay.
them like red and gold, and I was like, oh, that looks like corn.
Hmm.
But everything looks a little bit like something you've seen before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Trench Crusade is still around. The components look really nice
Okay.
for you know, what they're doing. The maps and everything look it's nice. The box art itself, though, they should have done like what they were doing with the books and stuff, having nicer graphic design. This looks a little bit somewhere between like Wizards of the Coast and Games Workshop in the weird design. It's kind of bright font, and it's not like, yeah, it doesn't have that same the same look that
Grimdark?
that their other volumes and stuff did. So it's a little brighter, and maybe they're just trying to get across the narrative and trying to show off like where you're actually playing to be more evocative. But yeah, they're losing the tone of the original the original artist's artwork. I think it's not as blighted and weird. It's more, yeah, fantasy looking. But anywho, yeah, so that is going to do it for this week. That's everything that was announced and all the changes the world is subjecting us to. All right, so where can people find you?
Blue Sky and Instagram. That's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, where I will be painting 6mm scale hardware stuff soon.
Excellent.
And how about you?
Yes, and so I do a single panel gag cartoon, which you can read at GoComics, gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And Abuse Cartoons is the website for that. And you can find on Abuse Cartoons, you can find some streams of me drawing that cartoon. And also check out rcharvey.com. I'll put that in the description. An archive of the writings of R.C. Harvey about comics and cartooning history. Really good stuff. I was the editor for that site for many, many years. And now it's an open archive to just be able for everyone to be able to enjoy his work. And but if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
You can do that at patreon.com/upturnedtable. We have several tiers to let us know what you're enjoying on the site. We've got lore videos and actual plays and audiobooks, all kinds of fun stuff. So let us know what you like. And Upturned Table on all social media. And of course, upturnedtable.com is the main site where you can find everything linked. And yeah, just get in touch with us. And signing up either as a patron or a YouTube member, you'll get access to the Discord. So you can see what we're planning for actual play stuff, the kind of stuff that's coming up, and just kind of like talk hobby and nonsense in there with a very friendly group.
More hobby than nonsense.
Yes, hopefully we hobby more than nonsense. But yeah, that's all available. So that's going to do it for this week. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. right. So how's everybody doing? Lots of con announcements. Nice. But yeah, good. Matt is asking me to drive up to Suzuka to get some Grand Prix pics. Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be. I mean, there's just so many cameras in Japan. There's people probably taking some great pictures on their blogs. Some Japanese. I'll do a search, Matt, and if I find anybody that's got a really good blog, I'll send you a link. Abyss says Armageddon is so boring. Armageddon out of here. They just want you to buy as many models as possible, right? But yeah, Matt saying Games Workshop wasn't satisfied with charging so much they needed to add laziness into the mix. Yeah, right. Bland to make a game from 2007 when all the games had, brown contrast and everything looked awe-inspiring. Nice. Yeah, Twilight 2000. Oh yeah, Arturo was saying when Twilight 2000 came out, my gaming group didn't want to play it because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Yeah. Even the reviewers at the time when Free League did their Twilight 2000, people were saying, this is in Eastern Europe. I think isn't it Poland, the default setting? So like, can we just not? Yeah. So that was, when, like what Chris was saying, when, too soon, maybe, when that release came out. Yeah, 10th edition, 3 years. Yeah, I think they announced that both Age of Sigmar and 40k are on a 3-year cycle. That's not enough time. I mean, I really pity the idiots that have to put this stuff together, the editors and writers, and even like the artists and people painting. That's got to be probably one of the most insane jobs at Games Workshop. And maybe they farm it out to like studios, but just the sweatshop style, you got to like, here's the new plastic, or here's the new stuff right off the 3D printer, paint this up as soon as possible, because people have been looking at some of the photography and you can sometimes see that these aren't even the HIPS plastic they're painting, they're just painting 3D prints because they need better lead time than Games Workshop gives them. So that means there's only going to be 1 year that there's not going to be a new edition, but in that time, that's when they're going to release their old world updates or their any new versions for the Middle Earth license update. Miguel's here for Battletech Day. Yes, the third war for Armageddon. Yay! Nice. Arturo is dissing the dead. Yeah, Ernie was the one that wandered, got in with some shady folks, and then said some freaking nonsense on social media. Yeah, Miguel says if you want your Steel Legion, just paint your Krieg desert yellow. Yeah, people were freaking out about it. Are they eliminating Steel Legion? That's my jam. Nope, they're just making you pay for it all over again. James says fix Greyhawk. Sure, guy. Lore accurate, it should be all dark brown drenched in Nuln oil. That's right. That's how you paint 40k. Just some colors and then Nuln oil, so it looks filthy and slightly greenish. Yeah, so it's very funny. So the grand plan is to bring Greyhawk back. Yes, that was Matt's evil laugh after that. Hey, Casey's talking about Minotaur erotic love fiction. We need a segment to cover that every single time. The Minotaur erotic love fiction of there's got to be, there will be, and it's going to be a female-led project, but there will be a some of this weird monster erotica that's coming out is gonna get an RPG that isn't Monster Hearts. And Arturo would rather buy the Melf's Guide. Ooh, Melf's Guide to Waterdeep. Nice. Good to see you, Casey, in the chat. Oh, James is saying, I should have kept my eye on the chat when Chris and I were talking. James is saying, Greyhawk had more political movings than Forgotten Realms and was the first one, really. Yeah, that's the big thing about it. And Arturo was saying, so they've dipped into Greyhawk before. The 4th edition base game was basically set in Greyhawk. Oh, wow, and Saltmarsh. book recently redid the original Greyhawk setting, and I think that's what they did in the revision DM master the DM guide is they made that as the default setting for explaining how to do your own campaigns. Yeah, Greyhawk is very fleshed out. It just isn't unique. Maybe what separates Greyhawk is all the original characters and lore. Yeah, Casey, I think that's right. All of the kingdoms and the heraldry and everything. There's a lot that the fans really embraced. Oh, and yeah, they're right. There's a great online map. Yeah, they even did that. Mystara had a okay online map, and it's evolved, as they did releases and stuff. So I was using that for a basis for our stuff. They really should. Miguel says, "Yep, go back to Black Sun." They can't. I don't think they can do it in current climate, but cannibal halflings would are sorely needed. Yeah, they can't. There's just too much problematic. If they can't handle Romani, in the Ravenloft setting, they're not gonna go into the slavery and stuff in Dark Sun. Arturo was saying Greyhawk is slightly less derivative than Forgotten Realms. Like blink and you miss the difference. Yes. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many people, and I've seen so many ways you can play the Dark Sun setting because they released enough source material during like second to and I think fourth edition as well has a full version that you can play in some of the OSR stuff. People have ported a lot of Dark Sun, so it's probably going to be the only way it'll be playable. Yep. Jeremy Crawford is with Darrington Press now. They're all over it. Critical Role now. So yeah, we'll see like what we were missing out when they were confined to D&D 5th edition. I don't know if it's going to be a lot. We'll see. Dark Sun needs something or anything to really fix that story because the setting of things that are inside it are awesome, but man, the story is bad, says Abyss. Yeah, right. Yeah, they released novels and stuff, didn't they? Supporting that. Your party is a polycule of non-binary gladiators. Yay, you fight for freedom. Against the eco-terrorist, trying to topple the fascist democracy. Story writes itself. Yeah, Matt saying, I don't think the WotC staff could make a tight, interesting 32-page module like the oldest. I think you're right, Matt. Yeah, that would be that'd be so nice to go back to that, but I don't know if it's. I saw like, and I think it was a like a placed ad or whatever. So the when I was reading about the Gary Con kind of press releases and stuff, there was a Kickstarter that was doing. I think they were calling them. Did they actually use D&D? They're calling them shorts or quickies or something, but they were like little tiny like micro adventures to drop into campaigns. And the way that they had kind of designed them, they looked like old school modules. I'm like, oh, is this what? Oh no, that's not WotC. It was some third party developer. But yeah, it'd be nice to see if they could do that because, I mean, there's just not a good place to physically retail them though. They'll just all have to be sold from online. But it'd be cool to have a rack of modules again to look at, a shelf of. But we'll see. Yeah, I don't think they can write the same kind of tight, nice stuff. Oh, Arturo's saying Birthright was dope. Yeah, James. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Mystara was way more generic than Greyhawk. Yeah, I think, and especially because how it evolved, like the Gazetteers kind of building the world, and they'd already kind of put things in certain places, and then they were not actually there, and oh shit. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. Birthright, did have fantasy races, said Arturo. Oh, remember the old Sierra game? Came out in the 90s. Nice. Hey, Quark, how's it going? Dwarfs in Birthright. Ah, nice. Yeah, so Blackmore was, thank you, poor Orc Child. Yeah, Blackmore was, before, yeah, they put them in the same year, but yeah, Blackmore, I think the original setting, because the original dungeon crawl is the dungeon below below Blackmore Castle. So yeah, that definitely. But I think it's in that's a Gygaxian revision of history, because I think he wants Blackmoor and Greyhawk to be on equal footing of historical importance, which I don't think they are. Just ask anybody anybody from Fellowship of the Thing. Yeah, I think Blackmoor is definitely the original setting. Yes. Cool. Yeah, so James is saying also that the ilClan is the current era for the timeline with the stories and the novels. Yeah, that makes sense then. So why would you want to play? It's like playing Revolutionary War when you're trying to get a World War II. You want to play World War II, and they're making you go through the Revolutionary War first. Interesting. Yeah, Battletech, as long as we all can agree, fuck House Kurita. Nice. Yeah, I hope Intro Tech. Yeah, I hope hope that works. Hope that works out. Does anyone remember the Battletech cartoon took place during the initial clan invasion? I remember when somebody was doing a breakdown of all of the non-tabletop media. Yeah, that's right. They tried everything. According to the canon, the cartoon is within the universe. Nice. Yeah, Alpha Strike version is great too. I like simplicity. There we go. So right before Mech Warrior 5 came out, I ended up getting really into the novels to catch up on the lore, and read most of the books from the invasion era and just before. Nice. Cool. Miguel says, how dare you? The secession wars are the most interesting time. Miguel says, Randall did say that the current box mechs will be coming in future 4 specs. There we go. Yeah, that was the article that I was reading. They panicked for a minute. They're like, wait, does that mean they're not going to be in plastic anymore? But I'm sure there's going to be, overstock of those old boxes floating around. Nice. Yeah, Abyss says Age of Sigmar should be retired already. I saw a meme somewhere that people are starting to gatekeep Age of Sigmar as their special classic game from 2015. Ugh. Yeah, what a dumb idea. The bubble, having everything be in a kind of Winds of Magic bubble. Glattrick and Felix are what got me into Warhammer. Nice. Yeah, old world fantasy is great. Oh yeah, we were talking about that, about trying out the Cubicle 7 old world TTRPG. Let's see what that's like. Joe's favorite is the original Hero Quest, which is technically in the old world because there is a Chaos Knight. Yes. Only thing good, Abyss was saying, only thing good about Age of Sigmar was Warcry, and that has been squandered. Yeah, there's actually some interesting creativity in like the factions and stuff they were coming up with for that, as opposed to like whatever the hell they were doing with Age of Sigmar. Yeah, it's just like wedding reception, like centerpiece models. Like they do these like flower arrangement looking giant, like whatever that is, like a 200 millimeter base. These weird whatever, and I think 40k is doing starting to do that as well, where you've got this altar and throne and everything but it's going to be moving. It's going to be moving on the battlefield, but they're getting ridiculous. I can't imagine the time painting. Oh yeah, there was a really interesting YouTube video that was talking about the Horus Heresy models, that the 28 millimeter stuff that Games Workshop is releasing, and how they're getting insane with the number of parts for, just like one Terminator model had like 42 individual parts that you had to glue together. So they're saying just assembly of the models is like 2 hours each, for getting everything, cleaned up and put together. So they're really starting to hurt themselves, because when you see the sprues for those, they've tightened up the sprues now. So they're, is so little airspace between anything, and just it's all of these little tiny pieces. It's like Gundam models. It's like doing like model kits for Gundam models or whatever. It's way too intricate for wargaming, because you've got to do so many, multiples of so many on the battlefield. And he said that's going to be a huge, I mean, not only is it going to slow down getting people to actually play the game, you wouldn't even get stuff to the table if it's going to take that many hours just to put together the plastic, but it's going to give an advantage to single piece 3D printing, like printing stuff in just a few pieces at the most, because you can do dynamic posing and stuff in 3D printing and print it all as one piece because you're not casting it. So that was a really interesting, I can't believe things have gotten that insane. Like, who let it go that crazy? And is that something that came from like Forge World or something? Is that like a tradition that came from old school, like when people were playing Horse Heresy before, they just assumed the models were just a bitch to work with and just like insanely time consuming, and they just didn't see that as a problem when they're building those new kits? Because that sounds insane. You got to build like whatever 5 Terminators or whatever. That's 10 hours just assembling, not even painting. That was a crazy crazy video, and really like made you think like they're gonna eventually hurt themselves, because I think they wanted the customization of those model kits, but yikes. Miguel saying 5 Red Scorpion Marines are 9,000 Japanese yen. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm not going to panic until they're 2,000 yen a piece. Jeez. Yeah. I like how you used to get boxes of 10 and now you're getting boxes of 5. So you're going to need probably to field at least 10. So that's 180 or 18,000 yen. Yeesh. Yeah. That's nutty. But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting weakness, that while they're making they have the technology to build such complicated models on sprues and separate them that much, should they really be doing that? Because that's obviously why the intro, against a lot of people's preference, the intro boxes are push fit, because you would just have so many boxes where somebody built one model and they said, fuck this. And they have one model finished and then just a box full of sprues, and then those will hit, eBay or whatever. But maybe they don't care. Maybe that's actually, that discouraging thing might work. Are Wolfies the Smurfs of Battletech? Uh-oh. Blue bellies. Nice. Yeah. Getting very Gundam-y the way those kits are getting built. Sorry. Oh, that's right. The casting for the Netflix Gundam adaptation has started to be announced. Yes, and we're getting a Sydney Sweeney. I don't know who she's playing. Maybe Char's sister. Are they doing the original story? Yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney in Gundam. That should be fun. I like a lot of vocal fry in my Gundam. I want to hear a lot of that. That'll be great. Ugh. Yeah. Arturo, yeah, confirmed. Yes, default setting was Poland or Sweden. That's right, because it's Free League, depending on Marine or Army. Yes. James was saying to Abyss, 6mm, mostly mech combat more clunky than Gundam. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Gundam assembles coming out. So I don't understand. So the size difference, I mean, in Japan, you don't have the size for it. So it's obviously impossible. But what I'm thinking is, as soon as those rules come out, is get the rules, and then just because it's a small number of models, just do the high grade model kits, because I have probably most of those already. I could probably build a couple of teams already, and then just scale up the hex board to play on what, like 4-inch hexes or whatever, and so you could pose the model and move it on the board probably the same way you would. It's just like I got a couple of the card games with the minis in them, and the minis are not amazing. They're not awe-inspiring. I much prefer building the plastic model kits, and those are superposable, and you can put them on a base and put them on a hex base even, and then you could move those in the game and play a bigger scale of Gundam Assemble. So that seems like they would be fighting against that. So yeah, if the rules are fun, we'll have to see. But yeah, we're getting Gundam Assemble sometime this year. I think pre-orders have already started, and they're demoing. A lot of people are posting demo games and photos of the demo rules and stuff online. Nice. Yeah, Battletech originally was FASA. Yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah, what else is going on? Oh, Age of Adventure, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on the stream. I'm sorry, I'm so far behind on the chat. Yeah, another thing about Battletech is most of the mechs come as yeah, well that's the thing too. Yeah, that saves a lot. Yeah, I gotta unbox those on a stream, and we can talk Gundam for a little bit. And the Sydney Sweeney casting. April 1st is coming in, another chance to do Japanese only stream to confuse the lips. Nice. Yeah, so but that'd be fun. That'd be fun to just get some MDF hexes and lay out a hex boards because I think it's like 15 by 15 or something. It's not like a ridiculous scale. So we could do it on the table we do RPGs on and set up a 144 scale, high grade scale Gundam Assemble game. So if we just have the cards and the tokens, we're all set. Yeah, if we find out what we need for that. It looks like it's got an activation track and stuff. I didn't look too heavily into the rules, but but the cool thing is it's got elevation, so that would be fun to build with MDF too, is do elevated hexes and stuff, but do it on that big scale. It'd be so much more fun to play with the models, which I think people have been trying to do forever. And it's funny that they did the 32 millimeter, 28, whatever it's supposed to be. Or I guess it's, yeah. It's not that. It's like 6 millimeter or whatever Gundam size is. But it'd be much more fun to do it with the big posable model kits. Nice. But yeah, we'll see what keeps coming up, what we got time for. Yeah, I'm most interested in seeing what how hardware plays, because we've got everything now. We've got the full rule book, and we got all of our D12s, and the terrain now. I'm in the process of printing out all the terrain, which is lovely. I was surprised how big it was, because I thought I could just throw it all on one plate on the printer, but yeah, no, the buildings are huge, so it's going to take a while to get everything printed out, which I am not complaining about, because yeah, there's some good looking buildings, and they're solid. They hollow them a little bit, but they're solid resin, so they're gonna be nice and weighty. Yeah, and I've got everything. So farm life, farm infrastructure, and farm defense. Oh, with little tiny auto guns on the guard towers. Nice. Yeah, and I think in the rules, the different terrain sets were kind of for the different factions, because how they set things up. Gonna be some farm fighting, and maybe I'll get that big old celestial dropship printed out too. Nice. Oh, that was a cool thing. For flight stands, I had some old sprues, the clear plastic sprues from the Gundam stands, the high grade stands, and just the edges of the sprues are perfect flight stands for Warframe. So the scale of it, because it's a 40 mil base with this a hole in the middle, and they have, I think, printable. They have kind of a curved stand, but the clear plastic, it's like clear plastic like acrylic stuff looks really good. So yeah, cheap way to get nice looking flight stands. So everything looks well up in the air and there's not a black or a, painted support. It's all clear. So that was nice. All right. Yeah. So what else is going on? So yeah, we'll get back to the Lost City. Crawling around, meeting some factions, doing all that stuff. And oh, Matt says Matt broke the news. Star Trek Academy got canceled. I don't even know how that got greenlit. That just the thumbnails were so annoying from the. I mean, they're intentionally annoying, but just like they made the characters as like just as grating as possible. It's like they're really trying to switch audiences to try to force a new audience for Star Trek, and that's not going to happen. Theater kids can't take over everything. Mikael says an ilClan era is for fake players. Oh man, let's get a lot of Battletech heat in here. Yes. So we'll see. Is there? So what's left? Is there any? There's no star. Oh, that's right. The Paramount deal is happening, so maybe everything is going to be paused for a little while. But I did see a headline that Arnold is working out hard for King Conan, so I guess that's getting released. So maybe we'll have a 70-year-old shirtless Arnold. We had an 80-year-old topless Harrison Ford, so I guess Arnold working out isn't that surprising. But yeah, King Conan, I hope that's halfway decent. That would be great. Good to see. But yeah, good stuff. So I'm sure there'll be some more announcements, some more game stuff from Adepticon that didn't make the cut this week. So we'll save that for next week. That's gotta be rough though to be overshadowed, kind of like Trench Crusade, overshadowed by the 11th edition announcement, and everyone knew that was coming. So, but fast dice rolling, yay! Yeah, that really, I guess it was the first edition of I keep calling it Fire Team, but yeah, the little skirmish 40k game, and I'm like, yeah, this is not a perfect system because you do want a quick roll, you want to roll big handfuls of dice, but no. Each one of these, it depending on what the results are, might have some different effect that I have to count into what's going to happen next and how many more dice are rolled and whatever. So just going blah, and then yeah, they're going to try to make it possible, but some of the rules, do not work well with just checking everything out there. And then you're going to have, okay, here's 3 red ones and 4 green ones. And yeah. And that was just for skirmish. I can't imagine when it's like, units that are rolling 30 dice. No fun. Oh, and then you got to roll the little dice because you can't have that many. All right. Yeah, was there anything else? There was nothing else. The War Machine thing is almost done. My mini factory campaign, I just couldn't get excited about, especially because I'm gonna still have that discount. So can't imagine buying an army I would never print, and some of those larger models might never get printed anyhow. So it seemed like not a great thing to go into. Although Chris has agreed to play if there are models. But what's oh yeah, and Modifius is slowly converting all of their original source books for first edition Star Trek to the 2E, which I definitely want to take a look at that, especially because it eliminates the D6s, so it'll play maybe a little bit more like Dune. That might be nice, but it'd be fun to go back to Star Trek. Yeah, because we could do that pretty easily and just do new characters because it'll be a new system. So yeah, probably be easier than converting characters. Yeah, I don't even know. But they want to make everything Harry Potter. That's the thing. Oh, that'll be something that I'm sure the internet is going to rage about. Is the new HBO? Is it HBO? Harry Potter? It's Warner Brothers. New Harry Potter series. Nice. Miguel has some old metal war machines. War machine. Yeah, Chris talks about the fateful day when everything got put into a box and I think shipped to Canada or the US to sell after it was sold on eBay. So all of that, I don't know if it was first or second edition. Maybe it must have been first. But yeah, War Machine really took off in Japan because Warhammer hadn't, there weren't physical stores here. You're getting everything third party, that nothing was translated. So you're playing it all in English. So the Warhammer scene was um, loyal and interested, but it was, still a much more exotic game that was harder to get. And then they started translating, although they did kill White Dwarf isn't in Japanese anymore, I don't think. They do the rules, but yeah, nothing else got supported. For a while they translated. Oh, that's right. Matt brought up another one, the Stephen Colbert Tolkien movie. Written by Stephen Colbert. Yeah, better than Gollum, but still. Yeah, I think the hunt for Gollum is going to feel a lot like The Hobbit. Just like, ooh, why are we doing this? And why is it so digital? And yeah, that's going to be weird. But yeah, Stephen Colbert is a big nerd, but he's also, yeah, he's got some stupid ass, I don't know, sponsors, let's say. Who knows? But yeah, as long as they don't let him handle anything too big, if he's just going to do the gap in the fellowship that they skipped, sure. I don't know. It's very weird. But they better not give it too much money. Yeah, there you go, Abyss. Just because you were a fan does not make you fit to destroy $500 million as a vanity project. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what that even is. It's so weird that I guess it's just Warner Brothers is so desperate to hold on to that license that they're just gonna come up with things that would fall under that license. Oh, that was weird too. I was watching the history of the Rankin Bass cartoons because the rights had gotten sold to Saul Zaentz film. I think it's the book rights for film, but didn't include television. And that's how those Rankin Bass animated things happened, mostly because of the weird copyright thing. So there was like a pirate version. Basically, they basically said that I think it was Lord of the Rings or basically Hobbit and Return of the King weren't registered properly with copyright in the US. So when they were first published by that shady, mass market fantasy publisher, they that put them in public domain, and Rankin Bass relied on that to be able to just move forward with the project. And that's why Tolkien sold the rights to United Artists, and then United Artists made that weird ass animated thing that wasn't with the Czech studio, that wasn't even the story. But yeah, that was very interesting, the weird rights stuff. And actually Saul Zaentz got all the money to buy the film rights from Creedence Clearwater Revival. He was like their manager or whatever, stole all their money from their first like 2 or 3 albums and used that money to buy the rights to Lord of the Rings. So Saul Zaentz company wouldn't exist without Creedence Clearwater Revival. It doesn't even track, but those things are all connected. But yeah, they just it was just a gamble. But the cool thing was that was the first like really truly first American Japanese animation studio collaboration, and never quite happened like that again. And because those things were intended to be television specials, not theatrical movies, they leaned into the public domain thing, and then also Saul Zaentz didn't have the rights. Crazy. But yeah, those histories were pretty funny. And then, of course, I forget the name of the studio, but the studio that did that went bankrupt, in the Japanese studio. But then all the people that left there after the bankruptcy formed Studio Ghibli. So that's why we have all of that stuff and all that kind of expertise. But you could really tell, like, that was such a unique style, and it fit Tolkien pretty well. Not the character design, that was pretty wacky, but the watercolor backgrounds with the cell animation, that looked really cool. And just remember as a kid, because I think the set of the Lord of the Rings books I had the watercolor illustrations on the front of Minas Tirith and all of the kind of classic stuff. So that watercolor was really evocative for me of that. Of the setting. Yeah, Andy Serkis is just an actor. Yeah, I don't know. But giving him a whole movie, because he did he did a lot of like second unit stuff. I think for The Hobbit, right? Or even Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he did some second unit directing for Peter Jackson. Oh, he directed the Venom movies. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. Well, he's a good Gollum, so that'll be crazy though. He'll be directing, he'll be wearing that weird white onesie, his little tight fitting Gollum suit, and then he'll go back behind the camera. Yeah, we'll see. Yes. Yeah, there's gonna be some weird projects. And I hope they don't just recast stuff and don't like de-age everybody to get them to look like they did in the 90s and 99 or whatever. Or early 2000s. That's gonna be crazy. Oh, changing subject. I recently discovered Space King. Now that's all I can think of. Oh yeah, the guys Gits, what are they called? Yeah, I think it's an American and a British guy that do animation. Yeah, they did kind of a parody of 40k. Yeah, called Space King. Everything is like recognizably 40k, and they just like go wacky with the whole setting. Yeah, Space King. That what is that? It's something Gets is the how they named. They're not on my channel. What is that? I'm sure Matt can find it and give us a link if I can't. If I clumsily do this. What is it? Flash Gets. That's right. Flash Gets. Are the guys. Yeah, so just look for Flash Gets with a Z, one word, on YouTube, and there's a whole Space King series. Yeah, they do a whole. They do a lot of parodies of like pop culture, like nerd culture, and like weird obsession stuff. Yeah, there's already 4 of them, and they're pretty long too. They're like 20-minute cartoons. They range between under 20 and almost 30 minutes. Yeah, but the look and everything, it's kind of like when Family Guy did their Star Wars parodies and stuff. Then when you watch Star Wars, you hear their jokes. Like in your head, you're like, ah, shit. You hear their stupid jokes, or maybe even Robot Chicken stuff. You're like, I wish that didn't exist. But yeah, the Space King pilot. Let me see if I can get a link here. There it is. Yeah, Quark, that's very true. The same thing happens to me because it's weird. Yeah, it's well done. Let's see if I can paste. There we go. There's the first one. Yeah, but they have a good sense of humor. It's interesting. Like I don't know if he's Canadian or American and a Brit. They do the animation and the voices and everything for just very YouTube animation stuff, but really developed. And they know the setting, and they know like they're making the tone of it and everything, like makes fun of it in a appropriate way. Like they make fun of the ridiculousness of the setting, and it's funny. But that's Space King 1, and then just that the whole channel. Yeah, they do a ton of stuff. A lot of like video game parody stuff. I think the thing that does the best, there's like some Zelda stuff and internet culture stuff. Yes. Oh, and furries. That's right. Their furry apocalypse. Yeah, their furry stuff is pretty disturbing. Yeah, and recently they started to do. Oh, that's maybe is that a different? But I don't know if it's a different channel. So Tom and Don are the names of the two creators, and they have their separate channel where they just kind of sit and talk about the ridiculousness of stuff and just ask some odd questions. Hobbies that are worse than 40k, or the most unhinged and stupid weapons in 40k. The most cursed mouths in cartoons. Their most repulsive hobbies according to women. Yeah, but they do some funny it kind of similar to what is that guy, Meat Canyon. He does more like celebrity parody and stuff, but similar in that style, that twitchy, kind of ugly animation style. But the Space King stuff is really surprisingly complex. Yeah, and they do a good job of like, exactly what they're talking about. They just change the names, kind of like My Mini Factory or whatever. Everything, it's the same thing with the names changed. Yeah, but just a good parody of the kind of zealotness and stuff of the setting. Abyss says, you know what? I think I'd be on board with a movie if it was Tom Bombadil and the Wraith Tomb complimentary movie to go along with the original trilogy. Yeah, some of the stuff, but they've already fucked up Tom Bombadil because he was in the Amazon thing. That sucks. That's what we got is sort of, I guess, pseudo Gandalf, whatever, and Tom Bombadil in that horrible Amazon series. That thing's still going, isn't it? They're not going to stop making that. That's insane. It's just sick that existed. There was something I was watching about maybe it was the Tolkien rights thing, and they said Amazon made the master, the amazing decision to go with the rights from the appendices or what. It's like, that wasn't a good decision, and the people that got involved were idiots. I mean, if they would have kept some of the original, people that actually knew about the setting and actually cared, it might have come out a little bit better. It still would have been insanely budgeted and not look, not look as expensive as it was. Mm. Yeah, so if there are any STLs of the material GW yes announced yesterday. Yeah, the rate at which 3D or STLs for 3D printing come out of Games Workshop stuff is insane. Yes. As soon as they announce something and there's a picture of it, someone is like sculpting it to try to sell it on the purple site. Wheel of Time is getting an animated thing, says Matt, from a different company. Wow, anything would be better than that Amazon Wheel of Time. That was badly cast and just ran into the ground. It became, bad. Yes, yeah, right, Abyss. It looks and feels like a streaming show. That's weird that there is that genre now, like a poorly written, poorly cast, really expensive series. That's just like, and I think that's like Netflix kind of invented that, but maybe between Amazon and Netflix. It's just like, what the hell is this? And why is it so expensive? And why does it not look like it costs $250 million or 100 million an episode or whatever the budgets were? Yeah, that's so funny that that's an aesthetic now. Because all that Disney Plus crap that they just started cranking out, it's just like, yeah, it's close. It has almost the budget. Well, yeah, if you add all the episodes together, it has a budget of more than the movies, and it doesn't look like it, and it's not even written close to what that should be. New Wheel of Time will be done by the same folks that did Arcane. Oh shit, that would be. I love the look of that Arcane animation, that French studio that painted look. That could be pretty cool, as long as they just make the story from the book. Acolyte. Yeah, that's a that's amazing. That's definitely. I think Acolyte is peak between um Rings of Power and Acolyte. Like that was both companies just being so out of control, like making unwatchable crap that costs so much money, and then they, you know, can't do anything theatrical or anything. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what this weird, like, extended episode of The Mandalorian is going to do in theaters, because I don't think so. They're kind of doing the opposite. They're doing too expensive television, and they're going to do probably not expensive enough movies. So a Star Wars film that's kind of not high budget is going to be weird. Yeah, no one accountable at all. Yeah, it's weird. And who knows what the new leadership, because we're getting new Disney leadership and then new Lucasfilm leadership. Who knows what the hell that's going to even look like, because it's already crap by committee. Anyhow. Uh oh yeah. uh yeah, Arcane did look really nice. Yes, right. Without a good story. Yeah, because Arcane looked good, good voice actors, and compelling enough story. Yeah, they definitely, and maybe it was a time limit thing too, because I think that production went over the pandemic. But yeah, I really was blown away by how nice that looked, and how well it was, the voice acting was done. Because I'm sure there was, French voice acting and English voice. I'm sure there's a bunch of different stuff that was cast, but the English voice acting was surprisingly good for Arcane. So that would be cool, because it would be nice to do magic and monsters and stuff in animation, and not have to be like, what am I looking at? Some crappy CG stuff. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Japan will never stop buying old Star Wars stuff, but Disney Star Wars is dead, dead, dead. Yeah. I wonder, I don't think anybody's gonna go to the movies here. But I think, just like everywhere else, though, the number of the audience numbers are going way down. It's good enough. It's good enough on at home or on your phone. People are watching on their phone. Good enough. Yeah, it's really amazing that happened. It happened so quickly. And just the weird combination of like 3 bad movies, and then let's just go all in on streaming, because how could that go wrong? Oh yeah, and I'm curious about the Doomsday film too, because if they're gonna try to recreate that weird tone of the Gauntlet, Infinity War, whatever that was called, the not the last one, not Endgame, Infinity War, I think it was called. If they're gonna try to recreate that tone by just killing a bunch of characters, that's gonna be a fucked up Marvel movie. She's like, this is the last time you've seen them. Remember these guys from the Fox movies? Dead. Remember these guys? Dead. Remember these guys? Dead. And yeah, and then let's introduce this multiverse of people that you have no interest in. It's going to be a weird film. And nobody even knows, like, even the actors are like, I have no idea what is going on, why I was saying what I was saying, what was anything, because they filmed it so piecemeal, and it's just their head and maybe the motion of their body and their head that's just going to get slotted into some digital nightmare. But Dune 3, that'll I'll at least survive until the end of the year, just so I can see Dune 3 in IMAX. Yeah. Big screen Mandalorian. Yeah, Age can't wait for that. Yeah, and they've already ruined the Mandalorian. I can't believe they actually had one thing that was kind of working, and then just like, fuck it. He's the sidekick now. And look at the cute look at that green guy. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, but every every time I've seen a Mandalorian trailer with like around Japanese like non-Star Wars people, kawaii, all you get is the look at that cute little green guy, and it's just made for non-fans. It's like he ate a cookie. Brutal. Mm. Oh yeah. Hickman's Battle World Saga. Yeah, we see Baby Yoda. Oh, yeah. I don't know. A business trying to drag us back into making more the acolyte. What was that? Who's that guy? Uh, mm, yeah. It's weird. I don't know what they're thinking. That was the other really confusing thing. And I was looking in comments and stuff, and nobody really explained it, but that Red Letter Media thing where what what are these, who are these movies or whatever they were saying, where it was just like all of these movies with recognizable stars came out, got zero promotion, pretty much went straight to video, and they had no box office, like little very little theatrical release, money, huge losers. They were all in that weird mid tier of like 20 to 50 million, and they all lost money. Like, what the hell was that? Was that like a weird experiment that we weren't in on? Because it's like stuff that happened in 2025, so it's post pandemic stuff. But all of those movies they named, it's like straight to Tubi or what, they felt like those like Amazon originals or Tubi original like stuff that like weird, like what the hell is this? What is going on with that? Is it just all money laundering? Is it like that they learned from Jack and Jill that, yeah, you don't need to, Adam Sandler has like taught Hollywood now. No, just get the money. You don't need to make the money. Just get the money. Yeah. Oh, good night, Quark. Don't be late for work. Yeah, but really interesting. But they didn't come up with any, like with when they talked about Bruce Willis's like old guy geezer, whatever they were calling those, when he was like kind of losing his mental function. They were talking about that whole genre where they just put a recognizable person's face in it for 2 minutes and put them on the cover, put them on the poster. But they didn't. I don't think there was any like they didn't figure out like what is going on with this. There was no like, how can you make that many of these? I guess it's the equivalent of one tent pole. So yeah, maybe they tried that. Let's just make 5 movies. Oh shit, nobody's gonna care about these. Just get them out there. I don't know. Very very weird. Yeah, very very weird discussion, because it was so many movies with like really recognizable actors that they're trying to get them to be action stars or whatever, and people have been in a lot of Marvel stuff and everything, and just like, yeah, nothing. That was weird. It had that creepy like Jack and Jill vibe where you're just like, what's going on here? That doesn't make any sense that they could get money to do this. Oh, that's right. Val Kilmer is back from the dead. Yeah, we're gonna get more and more of that with like people missing. Oh yeah, speaking of Val Kilmer, I just watched the Lost. What is it? The whatever, the Island of Dr. Moreau, the one with Brando and Val Kilmer, the documentary about the kind of how that production fell apart. but yeah, the kind of dueling egos of Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. I'm not going to come out of my trailer until he comes out of his trailer. I'm not coming out of my trailer until he comes out of his trailer first. And so production people just sitting there in animal prosthetics, just like dying in the Australian heat. Yeah, that's good. If you get a chance, I like that director too. He's just a nut. He was in the Jodorowsky documentary a lot, to the Dune one. What is that? But there were a lot of versions of that. Yeah, I think it's just called the Lost something. It's just the title of one of the older releases. Lost Soul. I guess it was Lost Soul. So Lost Soul, the doomed journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah, from 2014. Yeah, if you get a chance to see that, that's a very... Oh, yeah, it's just on YouTube. Is this a thing about it? Or yeah, I think it's just a thing about it. But it sounds like such a nightmare. And all the, it's just a podcast about it. Yeah, but that's worth checking out, Lost Soul. And I think it basically, ruined Richard Stanley's career, because he was really hot from Hardware was his like future robot horror movie. And this was his big shot at a big budget Hollywood movie with Marlon Brando, and no. Yeah, the doomed journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau, Lost Soul. Yeah, but it sounds like Val Kilmer can be a bit of a bully. Has anybody seen that? I think it's just called Val, but the documentary they did of Val Kilmer with the kind of a biopic thing, but it was just using the footage that he took on set with his little like personal camcorder on all the movies he worked on. I saw that was promoted. There was a trailer for it for a while, like on Amazon or something, but I never saw the final release of that. But it'd be fun to watch. Remember better times, see him like on the set of Top Gun and Willow and everything, getting people in the makeup chair and whatever, and kind of put together the chronology of his career. Yeah, I never looked that up again, but I don't know if that ever came out. But now he's AI, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it's just an Amazon Prime thing. Yeah, but they had a bunch of his just called Val on Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's from 2021. I never saw when that came out, but all the many roles, and I'm sure the the deep dive he took as Jim Morrison. Yikes. Yeah. That movie is crazy. And everyone, just like, it's so insane how paranoid and weird, and how they were just like casting locals. They just tried to get a bunch of people to, just a bunch of hippies were living there, dressed as dogs and pigs and stuff, because they, ghoulish Hollywood strikes again. Good, yeah, definitely, Miguel. Val Kilmer is back. Yeah. But yeah, we will be back with some more old school essentials, staying lost in the city, or in a pyramid so far. See where these folks go. You're gonna have to find some more NPCs. You're running out of cannon fodder. The meat shields are being depleted. And you left your two strongest warriors. I love that you left your two strongest warriors outside. The ones that have a little bit of plot armor, outside the pyramid. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, very cool. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging in with the chat. A lot of war game talk, not a lot of RPG. I guess, a little bit of Greyhawk talk at the beginning. But we'll be back next week with some more Diptychon updates or whatever is floating around out there. And yeah, the adventures continue. I guess that'll be what, our 11th, kind of our 12th, including the session 0, our 11th session of Old School Essentials. And yeah, enjoying it's fun playing through the old modules, and they're getting for our actual plays, just the raw streams, they're getting a lot more views, maybe because people are curious about the old modules. And I think a lot of people, maybe YouTube isn't so common to stream to. I think a lot of streamers that are doing actual play sessions are just going right to Twitch. Maybe there's a better, you can be found easier there. And then they like edit it and put that on YouTube. But yeah, we'll do some raw some raw campaign session actual plays for yeah, our next session of the Lost City. So take care, everybody, and yeah, thanks so much for hanging in there with the chat, and also to the patrons and members. Thank you so much for your support. You make all of this stuff possible. It's possible to use Roll20 because of you and all this good stuff. But 11th rules. I wonder if they're actually going to be able to ship, because I heard with 10th edition, by the time the book arrived, so much had been changed that the first printing of the rulebook was almost unusable, because yeah, they printed it so far ahead of time, and everybody found so many problems with the rules, immediate errata, immediate FAQ, and so the first printing is just garbage. And people are saying a little bit about that. Like Trench Crusade is a little bit like that too. We shall see. All right, take care, everybody, and we'll see you again next time. Tune in tomorrow for some Old School Essentials. Take care, and goodbye.